All right, we're live here from Mandan's Eagles Club. I'm Matt Hall here. I'm a volunteer dealer for the day. Coming back to blinds that are 300, 600 with a big blind ante of 600. Got a nice feature table here.
Are we ready, guys?
Hope that action comes good
All
for
right,
you
guys, we
on
are
this
ready to go.
lovely Sunday here in North Dakota.
600 with a 600 big blind ante. Dealer, come up and deal.
So this first hand we got Doug Yankton in the small blind. Skylar's hand in the big blind. Patty folds. We get a raise from Jesse Welk. Quick folds around. Skylar's hand in the big blind. All right, we get to be in the dark here for Skylar's cards, but got a flop of. See how it goes here. A four-table field we got going here today on this football Sunday. Again, I've been volunteer dealing for the Roughrider Poker Tour, co-oping in this event but for about 5 years now. Meet a lot of great faces in the poker world. Royce checks to that flop. What a river. That's a good fold. I normally make that call with an ace there, but it's tough to get one pair, let alone two. Wherever you're watching us from, thanks for watching us. I normally don't get a lot of booth action, so this is kind of cool. Being behind the scenes is a different way of looking at the game. Nice flop here. See if Forrest checks it, and he does. Ooh, there's some draws there. Pretty sure he's getting a call from both players here. Ooh, we're all in the dark for the river card. Oh, five of spades helps no one. Race is going to take this one down. Nice when you get in with the second best hand and come up with the win. And that was a nice pot he picks up there. Again, we're live here at the Mandan Eagles, Mandan, North Dakota. Streaming on Facebook and I think YouTube and what is Zach's turn? Ooh, raises there. Possibly taking the pot down with that raise. And he picks up 1,500. This is a good table to be watching if you guys are tuning in. Got the points leader for the RPT Sac Pirates. Sitting there with the Ravens jersey on. Nice raise. Yep, I definitely call with that hand. Got an ace high flop. Yeah, bet on the flop. Takes that down. I actually dealt for this event last year. It's always a good time when I can deal some poker. Got Yankton limping in here. You know, all playable hands on the limp here. Ace high flop. Checks around. Jesse's not letting that go. Nothing like having ace rag and flopping two pair. Easy game when that happens. Haven't seen anyone have my favorite hand, 9-5. People sleep on it. Makes a lot of good hands. Yeah, I'd have bet with that open-ended draw as well. This table is full of RPT players, with a couple RPT dealers as well. Most dealers, when they get the chance, they like to dabble in tournaments as well. The dealers I'm speaking of is Patty Martin. Good old Chad. Also, a couple kings take that hand down. It's in the blind. Not the best run out for kings or nines in that situation. There's a little over 12 minutes left in this level. Still have players trickling in. There's still time to get into this tournament if you're near the Mandan area.
Get them now?
No, that sensor's broken.
Okay.
It's okay.
So, Skylar sensors just isn't working at the moment, so he gets the luxury of only he knows what cards he holds. Oh, this is gonna be an action hand here. Oh, 7 high flop. 10-7's golden here. RPT will be in Minot, North Dakota next weekend at the Minot Moose Lodge. And still a 4 table. Extravaganza here. The Mandan Eagles. Again, still time to buy in. I want to say you got till 5 o'clock. A little bit of a slow start action-wise for this featured table, but as the blinds go up, so the action. Ooh, what a flop. 9-5. That's why I play it. Can't see his hand. I'm just assuming he has 9-5. You're so close. Well, we got a raise and a call here. That's a light call we got here. Yeah, not seeing anybody else walking in. But again, there's still time. Maybe you can be the next RPT, DPT champion. You can't win if you don't play. Wow. What a crazy flop. There's definitely going to be some chips in this pot. Oh my god. What a river. Crazy. That is crazy. Is he really going? Hits the 3-outer on the river. That's poker for you. Flop the better hand and get ran down. I'm probably going in after this level. Thanks for listening.
Sorry. Okay.
No, I'd have been in there. I'd have been in there.
I was a little worried about the flush.
11,000.
I was like, here we go. Let's have two coolers in a row. I flopped it straight. Flush king. But I was like, if I get beat, I get beat.
You only had a shot, and I don't know. Well, I had a lot of action. Ace king, ace time. And the gutters.
I probably missed a draw there.
Call myself a full I got two here.
And I'm used to the smaller turkey with a free at the end stuff.
3,300.
Almost there. One fold. Two raises is 2,500. Three calls. Four calls. Five calls. Seven calls. Well, yeah, it's made.
I've attempted to call you Luke like 6 times.
So that could have gone. Two calls. Three raises the 3,000.
Black Friday.
Six calls. Eight calls. Two calls. Six checks. Three bets, 8,000.
What did Taylor end up with? Like hardly anything.
Taylor end up with having 6? Oh, I didn't think Taylor ended up
Yeah, I should have left off.
You took over?
Yeah, but Taylor. Yeah, that was a blunder. That was a blunder. I was thinking, you know, he'll maybe get half the carries.
How's it going, everybody? It's Jake Davitt here, RPT Rookie Dealer Extraordinaire. Today we are live in the Mandan Eagles. Let's see how the action develops on this hand. We have a call from Richard, a call from Byers, and a call from Doug. Under the gun +1, and under the gun +2. Oh, I'm sorry, under the gun +2 raises to 6,000. The hijack makes the call. Royce folds. Jesse makes the fold. Chad makes the fold. Zach with the fold. Heads up. And the flop comes ace, jack, 6. Rainbow. Let's see what happens here. Check, check. A little bit of deception here. Oh, looks like the center jacks bets out, and yeah, Skyler makes the fold. Nice hand.
No.
I cannot say what everybody has because we are next to the table. However, let's see what happens. Zach is going to come along. Doug is going to come along. Skyler makes the fold. Okay. Chad in the small blind moves all in for 28.5K. I'm not sure how this will unfold. Action is folded back around, and Chad gets the nice scoop of a little over 4K.
You know what's weird with that hand? I swear, half the time I get pocket 10, someone has aces. It never fails. I don't know what it is.
Today we'll take a look at our chip counts. We actually have Zach Byers in the lead with 77.4K. It's a close race though. 19%, 18%, 17%, 15%. So no extreme chip leads by any means, but definitely some contention here for the top spot. Zach is currently our North Dakota Player of the Year leader. He's looking today to add some more points to that leaderboard, clinch that top spot. Chad Weldon is going to call here. Zach Byers out of the big blind makes the check. Flop comes 2 ace 6. And it goes fold fold. Chad takes it down for a cool 2,000. Well, if you're in North Dakota today, it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. Not sure if you're outside or indoors, but it's a nice break from this past cold snap that we've had. I think we had our first frost this past Friday, so it's a nice, warm, sunny day. But we're inside watching some cards fly. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I think it worked. Commanders, they lost.
It looks like seat 6 is not able to read the cards, but seat 6 folds anyhow. Patty is going to make the call. Jesse folds. Zach Byers in the small blind makes the call. Doug in the big blind checks. Three, 10, 10. Not. The turn comes a king. And the river comes another king, double pairing the board. Let's see if anyone can take this down. Check, check. Patty bets. And everybody folds, I believe. Not sure if the graphics were up to time there, but I think that's what happened. Turn looks pretty good for Doug there with Queen Jack turning open-ended. Still pretty scary going to a paired board, and then a double paired board even worse. But on to the next. Royce with the under the gun call. Zach Byers on the button does make the call as well. Small blind calls. Skyler in the big blind checks. Let's head to a flop 4 ways. Flop comes 4, 6, queen. And looks like the action is checked around. The turn is an ace. An ace could ring alarm bells in players' heads. And a call from Zach from a 1.7 thousand bet from Royce. Head of the river. The river is a 9. Board is completely rainbow. No flush draws get there. No straight draws get there. Royce bets out 2.2K. Let's see how Zach reacts. Zach makes the call and finds out disaster. Ace-7 for the win. Out kicks Ace-3.
There's not many cards you could have had with that.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. With my kicker.
At that price, I was like,
Zach claims it was a good price to call, and there's not many aces that didn't outkick him, and he's 100% correct there. Still make the call and looked up Royce and got his answer. Jesse, an under the gun +1, raises to 1.8K. Looks like Richard in the hijack folded. Oh, it looks like he calls. Calls 1.8K. Zach Byers, the cutoff, calls for 1.8K. And Royce in the big blind does make the call. 4 ways to a flop here. The flop comes 6-9 king, 2 clubs. Again, if you're new to the stream, I cannot say what the players have out loud as we are right next to the table. However, I'm going to read action and the flop, turn, and river, and I'll do a little analysis at the end of the hand. Royce bets out for 1.6K. Jesse makes the call with the piece. The turn brings a jack. Royce bets out 2.3K. Jesse makes the call. Heads up to the river. Cannot see the river here. Depending, oh, the river is the 5 of spades. Goes check, check, and Royce takes it down with a pair of kings. Weird turn for Jesse, giving a little piece of the board with 9s and a gutter ball to queen to make a straight. Flushes did not get there, and he had a little bit of showdown value with his 9, so it goes check, check on the river, and Royce takes it down. Looks like blinds are up this hand. Well, looks like this hand is still going to remain at the same blinds, but next hand we will see a new blind change. Zach Byers in the hijack. He's going to call. Doug is going to call on the cutoff. Royce in the small blind makes the call. 4 ways to a flop. Patty checks the big blind option. The flop comes Jack, 10, King, 2 spades. Looks like Zach folded after a bet from Richard. I can't see graphic anymore. There we go. Royce checks, Patty checks. Richard bets 2.4K. Doug makes the call. Zach gets out of there. And Patty makes the call. 3 ways to return. And a 2 on the turn. Blinds are up to 6, 12, and 12. Goes check, check, check. You see the river is the 5 of spades. Giving Patty the check mark. That turn, that 2, tough news for Zach Byers, who folded 2s on the flop. It's all right though, it's a good fold there. Very, very, very wet, very dynamic board. Tough to string along with 2s, but he was looking at about 2 outs and he hit one of them on the turn, but he was already out of the hand, and that's all right. On to the next. Oh, do I have to change that?
He's coming. He'll be here soon. Let's go Raiders. Do me and Pat. When you're my brother, we both have a thing for 9-5. We both have the Raiders.
There we can now see our updated blind counts. Come on down to the Mandan Eagles Club if you want to get in on some of this action. We are currently running 4 tables for this MTT.
Who's going with a third option? Ice 35 to go.
Flop comes Jack, Queen, 9. Patty checks, Jesse checks. Skyler bets out for 5,000 into a pot, 15.2K, about 1/3 pot. Patty calls, and Jesse does make the fold. Heads up to a turn. The turn is the Queen of Hearts. Patty checks.
Thank you.
Looks as though Skyler bets out for 10,000. Patty does come along to see a river card here. The river is a jack of diamonds. Patty checks. Skyler asks how much she has behind. Might see some fireworks here and showdown. I do not know Skyler's hand. It looks like Patty is taking it down with jacks full of queens. Unknown what Skyler had that hand. Skyler had the had ace king offsuit.
Now you can afford
Ran into an ace jack from Patty for a full house. Nice hand, Patty.
So it was ugly, ugly, and uglier. I was worried about it.
Expensive money. You know, nothing's shitters always win. Guys should have used themselves and not
Late entry is still available until roughly 4:30 p.m. It is a $150 buy-in plus a $25 dealer appreciation for $20,000 in chips. There are 30-minute levels, and there's a $50 add-on for an additional 10,000 chips, up to 3 add-ons for a maximum buy-in of $300. So once again, there's a $150 buy-in plus a $25 dealer appreciation, and 3 $50 add-ons for an additional 30,000 in chips. The add-on can be taken anytime, including the beginning of the tournament, but also can be used for re-entry into the tournament. Once again, if you're interested in coming down, we are at the Mandan Eagles Club. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you can't come down, go ahead and watch the live stream. There's a live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Zach Byers under the gun. Let's see what he does here.
Players now stolen.
It looks as though I may have missed that last hand with Zach Byers, waking up with pocket kings. That does seem to be the case. I missed some action on the last hand. That's all right, but hopefully you guys saw how it unfolded on the stream.
Small line here, big line here, 12 close. Gonna re-enter, you're gonna go home. Alright, can I have your yellow card, please?
We still do not know the player's hands, but the flop comes 10, king, jack, rainbow. Turn is the 10 of spades. Skylar bet out 3,000 on the flop and was called by Richard. Turn goes check, check.
That's a raise, 24. Michelle, seat open?
The river card is the 5 of diamonds. Pretty much a blank. Hand is over, it looks like. I'm not sure what those players' hands were, but we can pretty much assume that that 5 of diamonds was a blank on the river. And it looks like Richard took it down with whatever his hands were.
They requested math. They like math.
Skyler raises the 2.5K, and we have a call from Royce. Let's see what Richard does here. Richard makes the call from the small blind. Zach Byers is going to defend his big blind here. The flop comes 7, 8, 10, 2 hearts. Richard checks. Zach checks as well. Skyler bets out. Skyler bets out for 4,000. We see a fold, a call from Richard. Zach with a piece makes the fold. Heads up to a turn here. The turn is the 7 of clubs. Richard checks. And Skyler makes the check. Here we go to a river. The river is the ace of spades. Richard bets out and Skyler snap folds. 25.7K pot to Richard.
I have to win in order to do that.
Looks like we have a call from Royce Irwin, who's trying to see a flop. Richard on the button makes the fold. Zach Byers is going to call for an additional 600. From the small blind, big blind checks 3 ways to a flop. Pot's a little under 5K at the moment. Flop comes 2, queen, 10. Royce is going to lead. Oh, I'm sorry. Doug bets out for 2,000 and Royce makes the call. Zach Byers gets out of the action. Heads up to a turn.
I had my suitcase all packed. Went to Bismarck for a horse sale, and I had my suitcase packed, ready to go. I couldn't pull the plug.
King on the turn. King of clubs on the turn. Doug checks. Royce
Or Mandan.
is going to lead out for 3.5K, and Doug makes the call. Heads up to a river card. The river is the 7 of clubs. Doug checks. Royce bets out 5K and a call from Doug to see his 2-pair up in flames from a better 2-pair from Royce. Royce turned a better 2-pair. Kingdom 10s over the queen 2 from the big blind. Royce under the gun is going to make the call. And we see Chad wants to see a flop as well. Jack Byers on the button makes the call. It looked like Skyler makes the check in the big blind 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes Jack, Queen, 10, 2 diamonds. Six checks. Skyler checks. Royce leads out for 3,500. Zach Byers does make the call, and we see Skyler makes the fold. Heads up to a turn here. Could see some fireworks. The ace of spades comes on the turn. Royce checks. Zach Byers leads out for 5,000, and Royce does make the fold. Very disciplined fold there from Jack 10. Queen got there for the straight. Ace, any two pair with an ace, any two pair with king, or with a queen, sorry. Very, very dynamic board there. And a good fold from
I
Royce.
don't know if he had it, because I had a king too. Did you have it?
I had pair too.
Zach Byers with king 10 turned to straight. Had a little piece of it on the flop. And made the call. Ended up taking down a nice little pot.
No, I had a pair with open-ended. The ace gave me
Make sure you guys take a look at the Roughrider Poker Tour schedule. We have some big events coming up, like the Spirit Lake Casino and Resort Casino State Championship, December 28th through the 31st. That's going to be an awesome, awesome weekend. We're looking at an estimated $150,000 prize pool. Multiple tournaments throughout the weekend, and a great, great, great time. Make sure you guys check out the schedule to see things like this. The Roughrider Poker Tour's 3 biggest months in tour history are coming up. This weekend, they are in Billings, Montana. The Sky Dancer 500 is coming up. And the Dakota Jim Dandy Poker Festival from November 16th through November 19th will be taking place. The Dakota Jim Dandy Poker Festival is a Dakota Poker Tour, Roughrider Poker Tour combo event once again, and this feature table will more than likely be there for that weekend. Make sure you go ahead and tune in. And let's get back to the action. We see a flop of 6-2-3. Turn is a 4 of hearts. Royce raises to 14,000. Chad makes the call. And Royce does take it down. Chad folds, I believe, to a jam. Chad folded to a jam. Richard and under the gun +2. Let's see what he does here. Raises to 3,000. Patty in the big blind.
I'm just saying, I can pause it real quick and I can make it happen.
Patty in the big blind defends. Makes the call for another 1.8 thousand. Pot total right now is 7.8 thousand. The flop comes 8 queen jack, all diamonds. Patty checks. Looks like Richard let out and Patty made the fold. Richard bet 5,000 and Patty folds. That was a tough hand there. You saw Patty was pretty much dominated for pre-flop. Monotone board didn't help her case at all and makes the fold.
Call seat 1, 50,900. Seat 2. Seat 3. 82,600. Seat 4. Seat 6, 15,300. Or seat 5, 15,300. Seat 6, 10,900. 7. Hold on. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Once again, if you're new to the stream, welcome. We have at this feature table our North Dakota Player of the Year points leader, Zach Byers.
5, 10, 15, 16 boards. Sorry. Patty. I got you. Thank you, Patty. 42,900. Who had the correction? C4, what you got?
It looks like floor has been called for this feature table. Oh, I think they're getting some accurate chip counts.
Did we get it? C1 is 50,900.
That's exactly what's happening. We are getting some accurate chip counts before we continue play.
82,1. C4 should, I forgot. 5 should be 15,300. C6 should be 10,900. C7, 116,400. And then Patty 39. Sorry, 42,900. Is that good? You're welcome. May we resume action? All right, resume action, please. Thank you so much. I apologize for that, guys. Gotta let the technical difficulties. I do apologize.
Next weekend, the Roughrider Poker Tour will be in Minot. I'm not sure if we have any Minot listeners here today, but you can look forward to RPT coming to your hometown soon. On the screen, we just saw some player updated chip counts. Richard, under the gun +1, is going to come along. Zach Byers and +2, also coming along. Royce on the button. Makes a raise. Raises to 7.7 thousand. And a fold from Zach. I believe it goes fold, fold. Looks like Royce has taken down that small pot. Skydancer $500 buy-in main event will be taking place October 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th at the Skydancer Casino and Resort in Belcourt, North Dakota. Really hope to see you guys out there. There's an estimated prize pool of $100,000. There's a Thursday night event, a Friday night event, a Saturday event, and a Sunday event. So make sure you come on out and get in on some of that action. If we have any listeners from Montana, the Montana main event is a $400 buy-in, $10,000 estimated first place prize. That'll be taking place in Billings at the High Horse. So look forward to seeing all of our Montana listeners there as well. And some North Dakota folks who make the trip out. Richard under the gun is going to call. Royce also coming along. Earlier I mentioned the Dakota Jim Dandy Festival. That is a Dakota Poker Tour and RPT combo event. That will be taking place at the Spirit Lake Casino and Resort in the middle of November, November 16th through the 19th. We see a flop of Jack, Queen, Jack, Rainbow. Richard leads out for 2.5K. Royce with the call. The turn is an ace. We now see action goes check, check on the turn. The river was the two of spades. Action went check, check. Royce bet out for 7.3K, and Richard makes the fold. We saw Royce there with Royce there on the flop with an open-ended straight draw and backdoor clubs. Turn extinguished the backdoor club options. However, still left him open-ended and got one through there on the river. Doug and under the gun +1 moves all in for 15.3 thousand. Action folds around to Patty Martin in the cutoff. She's thinking about it. We see Doug's all in there. It's only about 12 to 13 big blinds, and Patty does make the call. Jesse on the button does decide to fold there. Chad as well. Let's see what the big blind does. Big blind Richard is going to fold as well. We are heads. Oh, it is not heads up. Action is concluded. We are all in. Patty now sees that she is a 2 to 1 dog. She needs to see a jack here or diamonds on the flop. Ace would be no good for her. Flop comes 4, king, 6. She could go runner, runner for diamonds. 7. She's looking for a jack here. Jack and jack only. The river is the 8 of spades, so Doug, good for the double up. Doug takes this one down. It was nice to read off a hand there once action was concluded. Once again, if you're new here, we are directly next to the table, so I cannot talk about players' hands, outs, or anything specific until the conclusion of the hand. But once the hand is complete, I will do my best to do a quick little recap of what happened. Chad on the button moves all in for 9.8K, about 4 big blinds. A little bit more. Oh no, blinds are 16 and 16. We're looking at about 4 big blinds here. Jesse. Talking to Chad, he's thinking about it. I don't think he... And Jesse does make the call here. I think he's trying to get lucky with 3-2 offsuit, the dirty diaper. Turns over the dirty diaper, and you see Chad chuckle about it. He knows that he is doomed.
That's how I feel every time.
Jesse only had to make a call for 3.5K more, and the flop comes 10. King 6 gives Chad a gut shot. Ace high still good. You see he's 89% favorite here. Jesse's looking for a 2 or a 3. Turn comes a 7. And the river is an ace, giving Chad a double up. You could see Chad chuckle there, thinking that 2-3 is thinking he's way ahead, but Chad good for the double up. How about those Vikings this year? Man, oh man. It's been an up and down roller coaster for all Vikings fans. Currently down 3-10 against Kansas City Chiefs. There's a good chance that many of you are watching that game right now, but this live stream is much cooler. So tune into the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Share it with everybody you know. And come on down to the Mandan Eagles. We have 3 TVs with the same game on. And you get to play poker while you do it. Come on down to the Mandan Eagles Club. Chad Weldon moves all in for 23.6K. Richard makes the fold. Action here is to Zach Byers, who asked for a count. Zach Byers, good morning. Zach Byers with a call. Looks like Doug makes the fold. And Zach Byers did wake up with pocket aces, heads up to a flop here. Chad is looking for some diamonds here on this flop. He is a large dog to pocket aces. Has some value with those diamonds. The flop is 5-9 queen. Turn is another queen. 1 diamond on the flop. Diamonds are gone. I believe that Chad is pretty much drawing dead here. Yep, that's it. Knockout. Chad Weldon. Good game. Zach Byers, good for the elimination and a nice little chip up. Woke up in the small blind there with some pocket aces and sat in the tank wondering what he's going to do, wondering what the player behind him was going to do. Decided to call, and Doug makes a fold. Heads up.
Yeah, maybe not.
Knowing Zach personally, Zach is not a fan of aces. He's had them beat too many times. He's had his hopes up too many times. You even heard him too. He goes, oh, well, you got diamonds. Automatically assuming that they're going to come. But aces do hold this time around. Here we see our chip counts. Oh, player position, rather. Sorry. We now have a seat open, so this pretty much speaks for itself. Player position right there on the screen. Yeah. We've got a raise from Richard to 4,000. Richard goes ahead and takes it down after it folds around back to him. Here we see our chip counts. Royce Irwin with 33% of this table. Zach Byers not too far behind with 22%. 86.4K. This is not the final table. This is just the feature table. Chad Weldon is not in 8th place. We are not to the money yet. There are still 4 tables remaining here at the Mandan Eagles. Patty is under the gun. Let's see what she does here. Patty decides she's going to come along. Jesse, +1, is going to call as well.
No, we're at 16. What happened here? Oh, it's just you. It's just you.
Richard's gonna call. Zach Byers lays it down. Doug Yankton lays it down as well. Skyler's gonna come along from the small blind. And Royce in the big blind. Let's see what he does here. Royce does check his option. 5 ways to a flop. 5 ways to a flop of 2 king 9, 2 clubs. Richard leads out for 5,000. Not too many connections here from all these players. And Jesse makes the fold. Richard C-bet is going to take it down. He had a gutter ball and some backdoor equity with the clubs. Jesse under the gun. Jesse under the gun opens the action. 5.2K. Zach Byers in the hijack folds. Doug folds. Action folds all the way back around to him. He's going to steal the blinds there. Skyler in the cutoff moves all in for 6.1K. It's about 4 big blinds there.
Well, are you going to give her your money to buy it with? I think that's what you
All in for about 4 big blinds. I was wrong earlier. Chad had moved all in with more than 4 big blinds. He moved in with about 7.
I would do if I was
Either way. And a call from Jesse with Queen 2. Flop comes 2, King Jack. Skyler has ace 10 of clubs. No clubs on the flop. Skyler looking for an ace or a 10. Or queen. No queen. Skyler Sands eliminated. Jesse, good for a nice little chip up with a pair of 2s. Pair of 2s good.
How's that? I'm going to have you start buying the black chips. At dinner break, we will take them away. Just at the convenience, if you could just start gathering them up, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we've got 10 minutes. Oh, yeah. I'll move someone to two. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll go. Yeah. Thank you.
Looks like they're going to try and bring in a new player here to this feature table.
I remembered that after somebody, I'm telling you, I'm grabbing chips and always pass two.
So right now, till I have to move them to 6. I caught it. Yeah, just hang out there for another 10 minutes and we'll go out another break. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna come right over here real quick, sir. Sir, you're right over here with me for a second.
10 minutes until the break. Doug moves all in. Asks for a count, and Richard does fold. Doug good to steal the blinds. If you do end up making it down to the Mandan Eagles Club, there is some Dakota Poker Tour merch. You can get yourself some cool poker merch to wear at your next home game, cash game, tournament, wherever you're going to go to play some poker. You can also buy into this tournament for $150 with 3 $50 add-ons available. Add-ons can be bought at the start of the tournament or at any point in time throughout the tournament, as so long as chips remain. You can also use these add-ons as re-entry.
Alright, Carter, you can sit. Details in the next thing. Good luck to you. No, right here, second. No electronics while at the table. If you will be using, got a step away, no beverages on the table.
Doug makes the call for 1.6K.
Gray area here. You're just gonna kind of set them there for a second. Just for a second. And then you
Richard in the small blind,
the dealer or the team needs anything.
deciding what he'd like to do there. Thinks about it a little bit. Raises to 6,000. Zach Byers in the big blind, pretty much no choice there but to let that one go. Looks like Doug is going to make the call. Richard raises to 5.5 thousand. Sorry, not 6. And Doug does make the call to a flop of 3, 2, Jack, 2 hearts. We've got some action. Richard leads out for 5.5K. Doug makes the call, heads up to a turn. Turn is the 3 of spades, pairing the board. See a bet of 8,000. Doug makes the call. The 5 of clubs on the river, no help. And a fold. Richard good. 22K with a very nice hand.
But at that point, I mean,
I thought about that.
Almost ran into some catastrophic danger there. Like I said, we are next to this table. Almost gave away some information that could have been really helpful. I think it went under the radar, but regardless, we saw a big hand there last between Doug and Richard. Richard good for a chip up of 25,000. Royce makes the call. Patty moves all in from the hijack position. We have a new player at the table, Carter Berger, who's under the gun this hand. Zach Byers lets it go. Carter lets it go. Royce announces good hand and lets it go. Doug in the big blind. Maybe calls. We have heads up action. Queen Jack versus pocket tens for Patty. Queen of spades, Jack of hearts for Doug. All in. As a call against Patty's all in with pocket tens. Let's see the flop here. It's a race. It's a 50-50 flip. Doug's looking for a queen or a jack here. There we go. Doug's at 42%. Patty's at a little over. The flop comes 6-8-2. Patty, big favorite. Doug's looking for a queen or a jack. 4 of clubs. No help to either player. River is the 5 of diamonds. No help. Patty Martin with the double up. Tens will hold in that situation.
Was that your table?
Yeah, he would have been small, but okay, so still one. Yeah.
Can we see the updated chip count? Patty Martin, under the gun +1, folds. Jesse in the hijack. Let's see what happens here. Jesse raises to 3,500. Zach Byers folds. Carter, whose cards cannot be read, does make the call. We are heads up to a flop here. The flop comes 8-5-8. Actions first on Carter. Carter checks. Jesse leads out 4. Leads out for 5,000. Jesse leads out for 5,000. Let's see if Carter has a piece of this flop. Carter raises to 15,000. And Jesse lets his sevens go. We will not be able to see what Carter had in that situation. But Jesse lets the sevens go. My guess there is he had an 8 of some kind, but who knows? Potentially pocket 5s, 8-5-8 for a full house. Certainly not 8-5. Here we go. We have a chip. Here we have a chip count. Royce Irwin is in the lead with 27% of the chip lead, or chip stack count here at this feature table. 124K. Zach Byers with a little over 80K, sitting at 18%. Zach Byers is currently our North Dakota Player of the Year points leader. If you want a chance to dethrone him, come on down to the Mandan Eagles. And this will be the last hand before our dinner break. Dinner break will be, I'm not sure how long dinner break will be, but we will close the stream and then restart the stream after the dinner break. So you can check back in after the break, and there will be a live stream. Dinner break will be 30 minutes long here. Once again, this is the last hand, and we'll go on a 30-minute dinner break, in which case the live stream will conclude and a new one will begin after the dinner break. Here we have a flop of 8, 2, 10, 2 spades.
Wes is going in 9.
Royce bets out for 3.2K. Jesse folds. Let's see what Zach Byers does here in this spot. Zach Byers does make the fold. And Carter makes the fold. Good fold from Zach Byers. Royce Irwin with top 2.
Nope, we're staying right here. All right, players. Josie, please go.
That's it, everybody. This will be the conclusion of this stream. Come back in 30 minutes to watch more action.